Hey everyone, some time ago I asked you all on my YouTube channel for suggestions to for crazy or weird or cool little things for me to build in Open Roller Coaster Tycoon 2, which I could spend 5 to 10 minutes on. So yeah, I got a lot of votes here, 413 votes, and most of the people thought this was a cool idea, and I got quite a few comments under it. So yeah, in this video I'm just going to pick out some of these that I like, and I will do my best to build them. Okay, so I'll just start at the top. Apim1, I hope I pronounced that correctly, says I'd like to see some neat tricks with the flying coaster model, such as using large loops and other inversions the flying coaster type can't normally use. Okay, well, it's actually quite simple to use them, so I think I'll give a little demonstration. So I'll start off with a flying coaster track. Where can we find it? It's over here. Alright, I will just quickly build a station and a lift hill, and then I'll show you how to do some inversions you normally cannot use. Alright, here we have our track. So in order to use a large half loop, first going to twist the track like this. Normally I probably wouldn't make my track like this, because this twist would be taken at high speed, although maybe for this type of coaster it is acceptable. And so now our track is this way up. Going to make a little track piece like this. I probably need to make the lift hill a little bit higher, but now I will just demonstrate how to do this. So I'm going to allow arbitrary ride type changes, and we're going to change it into a twister roller coaster. And let's change it. Let's make a large half loop. Alright, like this. And here I'll twist back so that we're under the track again. So first I'm going to change back to the flying roller coaster, and now we're gonna flip it back. Like that. Okay, we can actually simulate the ride, so I'll do that quickly. As you can see, the large half loop is now invisible, but we can fill in that gap later. Okay, as you can see, the flying coasters will simply go through this loop as if it was an element they normally could also have. Okay, quickly going to just finish the track, and then we're gonna fill in the loop. Okay, now we're just going to fill in this gap. That is a very silly layout. It has way too much speed, and this drop here at the end is also quite silly. But this is just for demonstration purposes. So, disabled clearance checks, and now I'm just going to build in the other direction to prevent merging. So I'm not building a twister roller coaster now, and I can use that to fill in this gap. Okay, it looks like I've actually built through the loop here with this track. Oh well. Yeah, that's how you add elements to the flying roller coaster, which you normally cannot use. I've also used it on a twister roller coaster one time to add a corkscrew to it. So yeah, lots of stuff possible using this method. Okay, 23561654 asks, can you make a swing ride that goes in a circle, like an elevated swinging merry-go-round with swinging cars? I can definitely do that. It requires a little shoestring, so just going to show you quickly how to do that. So first we'll want our first I'll make the track which the cars will be swinging on eventually. I'll just use the mini suspended coaster track. Alright, and here we'll have our ride which the cars will spawn on. Now this track will be invisible later. I'm just going to make some track at the back, and that's just so I can spawn all the vehicles that I will need. Okay, I will allow chain lifts on all track pieces, and that will allow me to move the trains forward here, also in this curve. And here I'll make a split in the track. Okay, I've merged the tracks here, so I'm just going to make sure that this track piece here is at the bottom, because this is the track which I want these vehicles to go to. Okay, and right under this track I'll make a station with the control track. And the control track is the track which controls the speed and the ride duration of this ride. Okay, here I'll make the split in the track, and this train will go underground, and I'll connect it up to the track that I made here. Okay, I'm first going to check how many of these vehicles I need to fill up this this circle here of track. Okay, this looks like the right amount. So you can see the ride just stopped here, mostly because the first car collided with the last car. But if I use this amount of cars per train, everything should be alright when we guide the first car to the control track, which is underground here. Alright, the bottom car or the first car I mean, is now going in circles here on the underground on the bottom, and all the rest of the vehicles is now above ground here on this circle. So kind of like a swinging ride. And now that this one is back at the station, the ride will stop. And now it continues again. So just a simple shoestring, and to finish it off, well. It looks like the ride needs to be a little bit higher, because when we change it to a lift, the cars now drop down. What we could do is also make this track invisible and just make another track below it. Alright, and now it's just a matter of making a nice roof for it, making it look nice, and here you have your swing ride. Alright, Nick Sakos says, hey everyone. Hello Nick. Alright, Andre Martinez says, I'd like to see a roller coaster coming out the middle of a waterfall. For sure, we can do that. Okay, here's the waterfall part. So now it's just a matter of making a coaster. I will just quickly throw a layout together. Alright, there you have it, a coaster that comes out of a waterfall, and it actually also travels, the track also travels through a loop right there. So just again, quick and silly layout, but I think this trick here is actually quite nice. So this is how you make a coaster that comes out of a waterfall. Alright, Guillaume Cardon, I hope I pronounced that correctly, asks for a stunt show with people in bleachers. cars pursuit on scene, or jet ski or bike. Waterworld like, motor action like. I think I can do something with a car pursuit. So first off, making bleachers, actually quite easy to do. So I've actually made a tutorial on how to do this once. But basically what I'm doing is making sure these paths are only connected on one side, which means we can have benches on this side. So every guest who is sitting here will be facing in this direction. Okay, and these paths here, we can actually also connect them on one side, even though they're sloped. And that should allow the guests to also walk onto these paths here in the middle. So it looks like the guests are able to climb up these stairs and also get onto this middle section here. So what I'm going to do now is go to these rides, and I'll add some splash boats track here in the middle. Okay, and in order to get the guests to sit down, I'll just make a little shop next to it, selling hot dogs or drinks, and then guests will actually seek out a bench to sit on. Now, I may have to put the track a little bit lower, because it looks like the guests are glitching through them a bit, but I think you get the idea. Actually, it looks quite alright. Alright, now to make a car pursuit, I'm just going to make a track with two cars following each other, and maybe I'll make it so that a monster truck is following a normal car, something like that. So first off, I'm going to start with a little station here, and just going to add some chain lift to the track, because then I can control the speed, and I'll just make something up here, maybe with some jumps in it as well. Okay, our track is here. I made it invisible. There's two jumps in the track, and now I'm going to make it so that it looks like two cars are chasing each other. First, let's give them some colors. And then we're gonna use the right vehicle editor plugin. And then let's change this green vehicle into a monster truck. And let's put it behind this one for a bit. Alright, now let's see it in action. I think this looks pretty silly and pretty cool. This monster truck does seem to glitch a little bit. Don't know why that is. But yeah, I think this is a fun addition to the park. I think it was a nice suggestion. I quite like the way this looks. Okay, Brian says build a coaster where the last car is backwards. Alright, well that's actually not that difficult. We could actually use this ride for that. This the clearance here does look a little bit tight when you look at it from this angle. So let's just keep looking from this angle, that's better. Okay, well there's one coaster type which we can use for that. Let me find the right vehicles. So I'll just use the wooden roller coaster with the 6-seater trains. Alright, made 5 trains, and then we go to the right vehicle editor and we'll go to our looping roller coaster. And for the 5th vehicle, well now it has wooden roller coaster train 6-seater, and I think I need to enable another track type or ride type. Okay, now the last car on this coaster is reversed. Yeah, in order to reverse a car, you need a different ride type, or a different vehicle type. So the wooden roller coaster train, there's actually a version of the wooden roller coaster trains with 6 seats where the cars are reversed. So I'm simply changing these vehicles into one of them. Actually, I also reversed the fourth vehicle. Why not? Alright, then if we give the ride a test, you can see it just runs normally, but the last 2 cars are reversed. As far as I know, there's no other way to do this. So yeah, there's that. Okay, Campbell McCarthy asks for a 3-wide path that guests don't get lost on. Well, in order to make 3-wide paths, they're actually pretty known for letting guests get lost, especially when you make really long ones. Sometimes the game tends to divide it into 2 parts. So when you make a large path like this, what the game does is it's a wide path, so it just makes it just disregards some of the tiles. So let's see if I can illustrate this. If you open the Paint Debug window, here you have this checkbox, Show Wide Paths. Now here you can already see it. So when guests are pathfinding on wide paths, in Roller Coaster Tycoon 1, they will just simply get lost because every tile will be regarded as a junction. And guests for pathfinding can only pathfind ahead several junctions. So, for example, let's say they could pathfind 5 junctions ahead to get to their destination. So if a guest is standing here, in order to, for example, get over here, if there was a ride here, the guests would look ahead. Right now, it will see 1 junction here. Actually, this is not a junction. It will see 1 junction here and 1 junction here. So it would easily be able to get over here. If every tile of this section was seen as a junction, it wouldn't be able to find this, because there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 junctions in the way to get here. So the game actually changes this wide path into a single path. You can see the white parts, they're ignored by the guests for pathfinding. So this is the same as a path where this white part is missing. One issue with this is, as you can see for this path, this whole part in the middle here is white, so disregard it. So if you have a very long 3-wide path, guests will have to walk all the way around, and it will actually make pathfinding much more difficult for them. Let's see if we can get this to show properly. There it is. So if a guest now wants to get to this part over here for pathfinding, it will go all the way around and then walk over here. So while this does decrease the amount of junctions in the path, it does lead to some annoying situations on 3-wide paths. Now, in order to prevent guests from getting lost here, there are some tricks you can do. The easiest one is probably just to remove 1 tile here, and then these tiles here, they should be, as you can see, now it's a valid path again for the guest to use. Now, if you want to cover this up, you could use a path like this. So we just connect all edges in the tile inspector, and we paste it here. And we could also paste one here on top of this path, and we can do the same here. But yeah, path layering is its own can of worms. So it doesn't always work the way you want it. I think this here works alright. So guests are now able to walk over here they are able to pathfind over here without going all the way around. So it's just a matter of path layering like this. If there are several paths on top of each other like this, the game will only consider the bottom one for pathfinding. So yeah, it's just a little trick you can use. Okay, Ruben Bada says, well, he asked me to build a downhill bicycle track with jumps. We can do that for sure. By the way, I'm just picking a few of these suggestions. I don't have time to build all of them, so I'm just taking the ones that I like most and the ones that I think I can reasonably be built in a few minutes. Actually, I will just first make the track. So for this, I'm just going to use the monorail cycles, also with the chain lift on top of them. Actually, I'll allow the guests to exit here, and then an underground track will magically bring the bikes back to the other station. Okay, here's our track. So what I've done is I've just made a little roller coaster track. I put a chain lift on all these track pieces. I think, let's put it 14 kilometers per hour. Maybe we should increase it later. So I'm just going to change it into a lift so the ride is invisible. And now I can just test it and see how it goes. And here you can see one of the bikes. Now this is a little bit glitchy the way I did the ramp here. I'll probably increase the speed of them a little bit. Okay, I will just quickly open up this ride for guests, and I think because I think it looks nicer when there's guests on these bicycles. Alright, our guests are lining up now. Now, these monorail cycles do look kinda silly when the guests are on them, since the wheels are a bit higher. But I think this is convincing enough as bicycles. And it's quite funny to see the guests pedal on them like crazy. Okay, and the last thing I'm going to build is an observation tower that goes on longer than the tower is big. That's actually also quite easy to do. So let's find our observation tower. Here it is. Okay, I made it extra tall. Normally I don't make them this tall. And to hide them, I'm simply going to open the tile inspector, hold control, select this piece, and I'll make it invisible. And I can do that with all of these track pieces. Okay, now our observation tower is actually really tall, but it will actually continue on much higher. Now, it does look quite strange having the tower just end like this, so we'll probably want to have a top piece there. So what I'm going to do is, well, this is the last visible track piece, and right now the top piece is invisible because 4 units above this there's an object. So if I make this object one higher, as you can see, now we have a top piece here. Now, one thing I just realized is the disable vehicle limits cheat is on. So that's if you do that, this ride will act quite strange. So I'm just going to close it again and change it to 1 cabin. There we go. Alright, now it should work fine. There we go. As you can see, it just keeps going after it has reached the top. Alright, well, I want to thank everybody for all the suggestions for building stuff. I quite enjoyed doing this. Obviously, I cannot do all of your suggestions. Some of them were they would take longer than 5 to 10 minutes. Yeah, and these were just the ones that I thought were most interesting. Anyway, yeah, just keep sending in your suggestions. You can do it in the comments under this video, and I'll probably do another one of these quite soon. So yeah, if you like this this concept, consider giving this video a like. I usually don't ask for likes, but I heard it works, so might as well try it out sometime. And of course, you can also always subscribe on my channel if you like the videos that I make. Alright, I hope you enjoyed watching me build, and I'll see you again in the next video. See you later.